welcome to another episode of Front Row. Today we have with us to talk about an important topic, exports, the chairman of Export Development Board, the apex body that is responsible or tasked with the function of promoting and developing Sri Lanka's exports. Mr. De Mel has been an exporter himself, so he's not the typical bureaucrat. He has had experience doing exports. And today we are going to talk about an area where the chairman is very passionate about, connecting SMEs to global markets. Mr. De Mel, let us know, why do you think it is important for SMEs to go beyond their local market and connect with global market? What are the advantages?
Yeah, Subhashini, I think the more important thing is improving their livelihoods. And I think Sri Lanka has enough product that can be sold to premium markets globally. So it'll be good to improve our, especially the regional or the rural economy, where most of the SMEs are working. So I believe that there is an opportunity for improving livelihoods through exports.
So what you're saying is, by exporting you can get a premium price for your product compared to the price you're getting in the local market. And also I believe the research says that companies that are connected to global markets tend to be more efficient, produce more quality and more resilient. So in your experience working with SMEs, because you have worked with many SMEs and assisted them connect to global markets, what are the key challenges the SMEs face in actually connecting to the global markets, and what strategies they should be adopting to succeed?
Yeah, I think lack of awareness is the big one. I think most people, especially in the regions, do not have the market intelligence or the capacity to understand competing in a global market. But those who have collaborated with buyers, I think every successful SME that I have met practically has got a good buyer who empowered them. So it was more like a joint venture between the buyer and the producer. So I recommend that SME producers work with the buyer and with the market segment, a premium market segment, and add the necessary value in Sri Lanka to go into a premium market. And I think premium markets especially have little idiosyncrasies of their own, and only the buyer knows that. So working closely in collaboration with the buyer is very important. Now, for instance, the apparel sector, as Arun was saying, it is important that the local exporters, the bigger exporters, also integrate with SMEs and get them in their value chain, so that SMEs can improve their personal productivity and quality.
Yes, so you're looking at basically two strategies. One is be an indirect supplier to a local exporter, a large-scale exporter, as a first step, so that you can actually learn the art of exporting, meeting buyer quality. And secondly, you can even collaborate with a potential foreign buyer, that there is, of course, the transfer of technical know-how and the knowledge to the SME in terms of meeting buyer requirements, a significant challenge I believe most SMEs face in meeting the right quality and the right price.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's really what it is. And also the lack of years of marginalization, maybe. The SMEs have become very dependent on funding. Mm-hmm. That is either government support or INGO support, and they have lost that entrepreneurship in them. And I think we need to work on that as well.
And on that note, Mr. De Mel, let us know, how is the Export Development Board working with the SMEs? And I believe maybe many companies may not be aware that you're not located only in Colombo. You do have a regional network of EDB officials, and you were talking about setting up the first advisory committee on SMEs to drive the policy level conversations. Tell us more about what the EDB is doing to assist the SMEs to connect with global markets.
Yeah, I think the most important thing was to have a regional advisory committee, because that we have 20 people, out of which about 10 are from the regional business community, regional chambers of commerce and so on. So they are able to understand the context, the big difference between local markets and global markets. So that said, again, quality, volume and price. Those are the three key areas that we need to be aware of when we find the proper segment in the market. See, sometimes SMEs have a tendency to think they can sell everything to everybody, whereas there's actually a market segmentation that they should be targeting. And that knowledge can come through, and that's what that's what the EDB is slowly trying to do, is to empower these SMEs through our now the virtual conferencing and so on. They can connect even with me at the EDB to contextualize what they are, what a global market is, as opposed to maybe the markets they are used to. And then also an important thing is quality. Very, very important. And part of the reason that a lot of Sri Lankan products and produce are not getting a premium price is because they are trading and they are not adding value and improving the quality of a product. So that's definitely an important aspect that EDB brings to the table and helps them understand.
Yes, and when you talk about quality, I believe it's not just any quality but consistency in quality. Sometimes, unfortunately, SMEs may send the first sample of the highest quality, but maintaining that quality with every shipment is equally important. And I believe there can be a lot of help that Export Development Board can give, and already working on the SMEs can connect with the ADB to get these services. So thank you, Mr. De Mel, for joining this episode. For all of you out there, stay tuned for another episode of Front Row.